Hello there. This is my HL Shaw and Son, Sheffield. It's a close to, if not full, uh, it's a near wedge, if not a full wedge. It's a beautiful razor, and the edge that's on it, I would think is probably 6 months old or more, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's still shaving lovely, but I'm gonna put a cotty edge on it. You have to bear in mind, I have like 25 or 26 straight razors, so I can put an edge on a straight razor and it'll go a year or two because I'm always alternating blades. It's not like I'm shaving every single day with one or two razors. So, but what we're going to do is, first thing I'm going to do is put some tape on this spine because I don't like home wear unless it needs to be on the blade. There are times when a blade's geometry, it's warped, twisted a certain way, and it needs some hone wear on it to make the thing hone right and shave right. But if it doesn't, then I don't want any on it. That's a personal thing, and for everyone to decide for themselves. For me, if I can get by without it, I'd rather do that. So I have my 9 micron 1200 mesh DMT card here, and it's my Coticule. I'm going to wet my DMT card, and raise a good slurry. There are a lot of ways you can do this. I have a couple different stones I use. Arkansas stone. I have a Tomo, a Tomo Nagura that I use on this stone sometimes. But the best would be for me to get a Coticule slurry stone. I just haven't done it yet. I'd love to have one, but I haven't done it yet. And but all of them will work. In fact, if you read some of the love this stone, by the way, some of the old shaving literature of the time when Coticules were all the rage, they would tell you any stone, just raise a slurry with any stone. You know, there wasn't any particular stone in mind. They just wanted you to raise a slurry on the Coticule. And the water is undercutting. If you watch, the slurry is undercutting this blade nicely. I don't know if you can see that or not. Let me see. And I use what it is. I know this blade, and I have a tendency, it's got a slight smile, so I know that it will cut at the heel. But when you get up to about right here, I sort of barely lift the heel of the blade up to kind of catch that tip. And that's the extent of any kind of playing around that I need to do with this razor. In order to hone it. Now I forget what this has got on it. I believe it's a synthetic edge. It might be a lapping film edge. It also might be the Sheffield. But whatever it was, this is a wedge, or near wedge, and they shave a bit different. They don't feel as hyper keen as the full hollows that I so adore. And so I tend to use a really something that'll put a really sharp hyper edge on things. A JNAD, a synthetic, a lapping film progression, something that I know will make up for the fact that this razor is a full near wedge, and thus will not shave. The sensation of it when you're shaving with it is not going to be the same. So, but I thought, well, I love my Coticule. I love a Coticule edge. They're wonderfully smooth and forgiving. And I'm gonna do this right here for a bit. And I just want to play. I want to do a different edge. See what this does. You can see the slurry is darkening, changing color. That's good. It means the stone is cutting. Let's see. I generally hold this small stone in my hand, but I have more and more issues with my hands, and it's beginning to be painful. So I have to find ways to mitigate that. Something to put the stone on to raise it up a bit so that I can avoid that issue. Now I'm using a bit of pressure right now. The pressure will lighten up as I continue through the honing process. Come here, you. And I'm not counting anything. What I'm doing is kind of watching the slurry, and when I feel like it's building up thickness, then I dilute. doing a rolling X now because the razor has a slight smile. Very small, very subtle rolling X, but it is there. Getting to lighten up pressure. And there's not enough real slurry on this stone, so I'm gonna I'm not really being particular. I just want to get the majority of that slurry off so that I can start a new one. I'm going to thin that out quite a bit. Start over with light passes and a lighter slurry. Still a rolling X. Now I'm counting 20, a little bit of water, 20 more. Now what I'm doing, hang on, is just diluting this 20 passes at a time till I go to clear water. It's basically the Didcot method. I spend about 5-10 minutes on a medium slurry in the beginning before I move to counting strokes and the Delicate method. And it'll be different for every razor. Some will need more work on the bevel before you move to dilution than others. And what I'm going to do now, that slurry is almost gone. I'm going to run up another light slurry. Not very much to it at all. Don't know if you can see that or not. And I'm going to spritz it again. Very light passes. Well, now I'm going to just load that up. Instead of going on just absolutely pure clean water, I'm just going to load that up and make some passes on that to finish or pre-finish on this Coticule. Light passes. Weight of the razor only. Razor's starting to stick. Alright. Beautiful. Beautiful. I need to look at that under loop real quick. Please stand by. Lovely. Alright, so that's it for the Coticule. Now, what I could do, let me clean this off and talk a minute. What I could do is clean that up. Or rather, strop that up and shave with it. And I'll probably get a lovely shave. But what I've got in the habit of doing, because it's fantastic edge, is going from a Coticule to my Escher or whatever Thuringian stone you have. It doesn't have to be an Escher, but that's what this is. This is my Tomo Nagura that I use for my J-Nat. And just raise a light slurry on this Escher with that. No pressure, just weight of the blade, enough weight of the blade to keep the whole thing contact. Beautiful razor, beautiful stone. When I feel like the slurry is starting to dry out, like now, you can see too if you look at it. It looks, when it runs over the blade, it looks thicker, more substantive. That means it's drying out. A little bit of water to clear it, to thin it, wet it. Not counting here, just watching that slurry, watching it, feeling it. The edge of this, the surface of this Thuringian, this Escher, is wonderfully smooth and light, and you will feel when the slurry thickens, there'll be a slight bit of resistance, not stiction, but just resistance to the edge of the blade. That's when I know I need just a bit of water to clear it out, to thin it out, and make it smooth again. And these are becoming some of my favorite edges. A good cuticle edge, followed by an Escher finish or a Thuringian finish. That's good stuff, good boy. Now I'm going to thin that out quite a bit. Lovely. That's it. Should hone up, or should strop up really nice and beautiful. Thanks for watching. Later.